In 1905, I had inquired about Fisk Jubilee Singers. They toured the United States and Great Britain to raise money for their school campus. I eventually got in. During my 3rd year at Fisk, I worked on the campus as a butler to Professor Warren G. Waterman, a Yankee chemist. During my 4th year, I lived in the men's dormitory, Livingston Hall, in which I had received free tuition, board, and lodging. At the end of my 4th year, after the terminal examinations, while I was in rehearsal with the Jubilee Singers, Miss Robinson sent for me. I unfortunately had perhaps failed to do justice to my work in the Department of Music, and she had hoped I understood that I was being dismissed from the university. Overwhelmed with grief and disappointment, I went to see Professor Waterman, and I told him of the shock I had received. Some years later, I was in Mrs. Robinson's debt for what she had done for me. A hardly literate and untrained, impoverished boy. Well, she had given me a sound musical foundation and had seen to it that I had learned the rudiments of history, rhetoric, and the literature as well. Professor Calhoun had taught me some Schubert, note for note, coaching me on the vocal line until I could sing it without sustaining accompaniment. My taste for classical music gradually developed by singing the great oratorios, such as the St. Paul, Haydn's 7 Last Words, Elijah of Mendelssohn, and a few others. But when I left Nashville, I was not afraid of any work that might lie ahead of me. Besides, I was used to hard work and actually took comfort in it. From time to time, I had been asked to sing with the Jubilee Singers, and they were preparing for a summer conference called The World in Boston. I signed up, but before I took the job in Boston, I went to Chattanooga to take leave of my mother. I promised her that I would come and fetch her and make a home for her up there. 8 years later, when I had sung all over the country in concerts I had managed myself, I asked a Boston manager if he could take over my bookings. He said, "Well, Hayes, you know that I'm your friend. I want to advise you as sensibly as I can. In my opinion, you have got about as far as you can get in this country. The American public will never cotton to you.